Alright, so I don't have a plan on how I wanted to start this off. This is going to be a video diary, but not just any video diary. It's not a video diary per se. I am going to have video diary entries like right now, but the page is dedicated to my wife and I, mainly to my wife. For those who don't know me, my name is Anthony Leon Egerton. That is English. I am English, Native American, and German. I am 42 years old. I am a fitness trainer, currently in between jobs. I do have a full-time job, but it's not in the fitness industry. I am a bodybuilding coach, though I've taken a break from all that. That's a different story. So I don't have any clients currently, but I am currently married legally, and I say it that way because 7 months ago, in very late March, I believe it was March 27th, I'll have to look back at my texts, but that sounds accurate. In late March, my wife decided to leave me. Her name is Josephine Lynn Lucretia Egerton. Now, we were very lazy in our marriage in the sense that we never went to the courthouse, or we never filed the paperwork to change her name. Like, we got married and everything, and we got the paperwork for the name change, but it just sat in our office area and collected dust for years. So anyway, again, I am 42. Josephine is 25. She is much younger than I am, 17 years, slightly under that, to be exact. That's another topic. We've been separated for 7 months, and we met and began dating 6 years ago. In November of 2019. Now, before you go judging and everything, let me just say I am a very immature 42-year-old, okay? Very much so. And I take great care of myself, so I don't appear to be 42 either, and I'm not being arrogant saying that. It is a factual statement. So, quick backstory. I was a cook at Ruby Tuesdays in Fairhope, Alabama. That's where we live, Alabama, in the southernmost part. If you couldn't tell by my accent that I deny having. Josephine is from Ohio, and her mother, her dad, well, stepdad, and I only emphasize the step part because her birth father is probably going to come up at some point. So, her mom, Suzanne, her stepdad, Chuck, her 2 younger siblings, the youngest being a little sister. Her name is Cambry, and her younger brother named Kittrick. He goes by Kit and Cam. So Josephine was 19 years old. Her birthday is in July. So we met in sometime November. I want to say late November, but I don't think it was late, maybe mid. Anyway, so yeah, she was still living with mom because she was 19, you know. A year or two before that, she graduated high school. And let me just say that did bother me at first. And I was always self-conscious of it when introducing her to new people. You know, I really don't care what people think, but the thought is still there. I don't think it really bothered me on the surface, but anyway, the thought lingered. Regardless. So they moved down here, right down the street from Ruby Tuesdays where I worked, and she got a job there as a server. And let's see, I was 36, just turned 36 the month before, in October. Yeah. And she was a very curious, let me rephrase that. She made me very curious because she was not your typical run-of-the-mill girl that you'd run into. Now, obviously everyone has their own personalities, but everyone also tends to favor each other when you grow up in small communities like we have here. So certain areas, people act a certain way. Josephine did not fit any of that criteria whatsoever. She was her own breed. I knew she was not from around here, and I thought that she was beautiful, but in a different kind of way, like a way I've never seen before. Like, I just don't know how to describe it. Almost kind of nerdy, but not too not overly nerdy. Nerdy in a sexy way, and extremely awkward, socially nervous, but confident at the same time. Confident in what she likes and what she knows and what she loves. So I noticed one day, let's see, it was right after work. I was getting ready to go to my car to leave, my truck, and I don't know if I was talking to somebody or what, but I was standing outside vaping, and I saw her walking down the street headed toward the highway, the four-way intersection. A lot of busy cars. And I wondered, I knew how old she was at this point, but I didn't know she didn't drive. Now, she wears glasses and has bad, debilitating astigmatism. I believe it's astigmatism. Anyway, so I didn't ask her right away. I bided my time and waited for the right moment, and saw her walking home one day, and I asked her if she wanted a ride. Excuse me. Surprisingly, she accepted, so I took her home, and which wasn't far, and we talked a little bit, and I dropped her off. And this quickly became a habit, and each truck ride we took, we stayed in the truck longer and longer each time, delaying the drop off. So we would just ride and get to know each other, show each other music, talk about everything. And she continued to accept my rides, so I knew we were hitting it off. You know, like, if she didn't like who I was or what I was doing or saying, then she would not have accepted the ride. Simple as that. So, one day, our ride went to the nearby pier, Fairhope Pier. There's a little beach area and stuff you can see across the bay, and to the neighboring city. And we sat on the pier, and that's when I really felt close to her. She told me some very intimate things about her past that night, and we held hands, held each other for the first time, and kissed. And I knew right then just how easy I could love this woman, or just how easy it would be for her to have control over me. And as scary of a thought as that can be, it wasn't scary at all. It was the most amazing, inviting thing I've ever felt. And I had no intention of getting with any women, I had no intention of getting in a long-term relationship with anyone. So I've been in some rough ones in the past, and I'd already made up my mind that I was happy with playing the field and just enjoying life and meeting people. I did not want to get married. I did not want long-term relationship. I did not want expectations. That was the main thing. I did not want any expectations. Also, at my age, I already conceded that I would never have kids. I've come close before, and it never happened. And I was at the point where I never wanted it to happen. I no longer wanted kids at all. So that was one of the things I told her up front, getting to know her. But anyway, so the truck rides were more frequent and lasted longer. And one day I asked her on a date, a proper date. And in Ohio, it's a very small, where she grew up, it's a very small country town with very few people. So she was very sheltered and did not get a lot of life experience other than the internet. Which that's a whole nother can of worms. But so yeah, she was very sheltered, and she was living with mom and dad. So her stepdad Chuck was not happy about it at all, because of course she told them how old I was, which I wanted her to. And the stepdad did not want it to go down, but the mother surprisingly gave her permission. Even though she was 19, already a grown adult, she was living under their roof, so also under their rules. And yeah, so Suzanne, my mother-in-law, gave her permission, and we went to Mobile, which is across the bay. And we went to this, I forget the name of it, I'm sure Joe remembers, but it was a very unique pasta place. They specialize in pasta, and they make all their different pastas on site there in the restaurant. Everything's fresh, and they have fresh made desserts and everything. So we had an awesome date, and it went great. And I remember Josephine's pasta was sweet. It was so sweet, it tasted like dessert. And I helped her eat it. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. At this point, I was a couple of years in, just only a couple of years into my fitness goals before I started really bodybuilding. I was just trying to get in shape because I was 230 pounds, fat as hell, round butterball, probably. I never had my body fat tested, but if I had to guess, it would have been 30%. I don't know. I was gross in my own skin. I couldn't stand myself. Anyway, at this point, I was shredded, living 5 to 7% body fat year round. Always doing cardio, hard cardio. Always in a deficit. Shredded, but tiny, man. I had gotten all the way down to 139 pounds. That was my lowest. I was 230 at my heaviest, but when I decided to get in shape, I had already downsized a little. I was 196 pounds when I started the journey. I got down to 139 in about 3 or 4 months. And I stayed there, built up a little to about 145, and then 155, and then 160, 165. Did all that naturally just by lifting. Like, I wasn't eating right as far as eating to grow. I was eating healthy, but that was it. You know, I wasn't eating like a bodybuilder. I didn't touch carbs. It was mainly protein and fats and fruits. Fruits and vegetables were the only carbs I had, except for the occasional Triscuit binge or whatever I could find in the cabinet at the time. I remember I smashed a whole box of Triscuits one night at this lady's house I was renting a room from. Anyway, so yeah, I would eat like chicken breast, whole eggs. I'd put a slice or half a slice of Swiss cheese in my eggs. So I didn't avoid fats too much. I cut out everything that was supposedly bad for you. All the supposedly bad foods. All saturated fats, all sugars, and most carbs. Pretty much all starchy carbs. I had a slice of bread on a certain day with some nut butter on it, I think, like once or twice a week. It was bad. So yeah, I would eat like chicken with peas and 2 or 3 whole eggs with cheese on it. I put olive oil on the chicken breasts. It's fucking delicious, to be honest. And it's a good diet as far as mental clarity. But I digress. I'm getting off subject. So we have the date, and we weren't serious yet. I can't remember how long we'd already been talking. I guess it'd been a couple of weeks of truck rides and little get-togethers. Like, we would find time to spend time with one another, like between shifts, or for a minute while our parents were gone or something like that. I'd come over. During this time, her mom and dad Chuck, unfortunately, were having problems, and Chuck left, and they ended up deciding to divorce. And I'm sorry, I get emotional. Chuck didn't like me just because of my age, but he never met me. One day I had a lunch date with Joe's mom and her little sister at Tatsuki's, I believe, to meet her mother for the first time. And her mom told her later on that right away she understood why she didn't care about the age gap. She understood why I was good for her. And I do believe that if Chuck ever met me, he would have felt the same way. Because he was into bodybuilding too. He was a bodybuilder at one point. I mean, fuck, he lived in Ohio, you know. That's where the Arnold Classic is. Anyway, I'm getting teary-eyed because the divorce really hurt Joe at the time. And she didn't know how to deal with that. And she didn't know how to express it. And we sat in the parking lot in my truck in front of the Piggly Wiggly, that shopping center. And she opened up and she cried. And there was nothing I could do to make her feel better except tell her that I was here for her. Excuse me. I was here for her. And I held her. And I let her cry. And feeling that is so powerful. I was in love with this woman already. Sorry. I'm not trying to fucking boo-hoo like a little bitch for the whole world to see. But let's be real, nobody's gonna watch this shit. So, Chuck ended up moving out. Damn, I'm getting ahead of myself. And I actually forget where I was going with it. Back to our date at the pasta restaurant. Oh yeah, I was saying Chuck wasn't there because of them splitting up, and at this point her mom was becoming very trusting of me, and she would let me come over to the house while she was gone. She'd go out with friends or whatnot, and I'd go to the house and hang out with her and her two younger siblings and play board games and listen to music and get to know them. But back to the date. This was all right around the same time. So actually Chuck leaving was a little after, I think, but pretty much same time period. So after we leave the restaurant, we go back to my place. And I usually don't try to sleep with the girl on the first night. Excuse me. I have before, but I try not to because I do take pride in being a gentleman. believe it or not. And anyway, we couldn't resist each other. We made love that night, and it was the most powerful bonding experience I've ever had. Like, we just melted into each other. It was unreal. And I could not believe I was feeling all this with a 19-year-old girl. I couldn't believe it. And not only was I a very immature 36-year-old, but she is, despite being sheltered, she was a very mature 19-year-old. And has grown into a very beautiful 25-year-old woman with a lot more life experience. A whole lot of great, wonderful life experience. Anyway, we made love that night, and the rest is history. I remember that's when we became a couple. We were together now. And she was actually already talking to this guy in Pensacola, about 45 minutes away. I think I remember she met him on the internet or something, on a dating site or some shit. And they weren't serious for real. They just saw each other every now and then. And she really kept herself at a distance with the guy because of this other dude that she met when she moved down here, also from Florida. But this guy, she really liked that guy, and he kept fucking her around, only wanted to have sex, and she wanted more than that, and he didn't. So she always had emotion for that guy, but was dating this dude in Pensacola. Dating. I mean, they weren't together, not really. She might say they were, but not really. It's why I was okay with us pursuing one another. You know, and I'm in the same town. Well, I was in the neighboring town, Daphne, but I'm 10 minutes, 15 minutes away, you know. Would go see her whenever I could. So we quickly grew together, and I drove her over to that guy's apartment in Pensacola. I think it was an hour away, his apartment. And took her there to get the rest of her things. She broke it off with him on the phone, and then I brought her there to get her stuff out of his apartment. Believe it or not, that's not the first time I've done that for a woman. It's the second. Anyway, so I was the boyfriend now, the real committed boyfriend who treated her like she was supposed to be treated, or at least I thought I was. I thought I did. Come to find out later on, not so much. But I did way better than those other guys. Anyway, I digress. One night, I went to meet her at her mom's house. Nobody was home except the kids, and they had this theater room. It was a room with just a projection screen and seats, and we made a pallet on the floor out of blankets and laid on the floor. And I cannot remember for the life of me what movie we put on, but I don't think we watched anything. We made love on the floor of that room for a long time, and that is the very moment I fell in love with her. Our souls joined one another, and the things we spoke that night were magical. And I told her I wanted her to be mine and nobody else's. That I loved her. I'm in love with her. And she said the same thing to me. And so I was now a new man in love, in a new, committed, serious relationship. And that was the best night. I remember driving back home to my apartment, and Josephine found out that the bassist from my favorite band had a side project called White Stones. My favorite band being Opeth. The bassist had a side project called White Stones. And that very night, they released their first single. And she told me about it, and I listened to it on the way home. Fucking smiling ear to ear. So warm and fuzzy and happy and butterflies and all that good shit. Yeah. I'm gonna stop there. I'm supposed to be at work right now, but there were too many people on shift, and I've been kind of having a bad day. They said I could just stay, do an easy workload and stay on, or I could go home. So here I am. I'm home in my car. Now it's time to go in. All right, to be continued. This isn't just going to be a huge story about us. I mean, it most definitely is, but that's not what this is about. This is about vlogging our separation and me getting her back. This is me showing the things that I'm doing for her, the things I'm working on, how I'm improving myself. This is me trying to prove to her, and now the world, that she is my everything. If I had to say our relationship in a nutshell, why she left, is because from the very beginning, bodybuilding was always more important. It was always number one. I was always way more into myself than into her. It hurts to say, but it's true. All the way until the day she left. Her leaving and being gone the past 7 months has given me a newfound perspective that money can't buy. I wish to God I had this perception, this perspective before she left. Because we would be the happiest couple on earth right now. You know, if it was her goal to have things change for the better, then she accomplished it. Because right now, I'm the man. I'm better than the man she fell in love with. I'm the man she wished I could be, probably. Look, we all have faults, and we all wish our partners would do certain things differently. If you deny that, then you're in denial. You're a fucking liar. But I'm not saying I'm perfect now. But bodybuilding, it's my life. It saved my life. And that's a different story. But I have almost 9 years clean from my drugs of choice that I was addicted to all my life. And it's mostly because of bodybuilding. It eventually became it started because of recovery, rehab and recovery, meetings, participating in events and sober events, spreading the message to others, excuse me, and then bodybuilding took over all that time I was putting into recovery. Excuse me. I fell in love with it. I wanted to share it with others, and I wanted it to be a career because I love it so much. And if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. But bodybuilding was always put first because of that. And for the longest time, Josephine was okay with that. She supported that because she wanted me to put everything I had into it, to buckle down and make something of myself. And that would benefit the both of us for the rest of our lives. Now, I knew I wasn't gonna, at this age, be a professional bodybuilder, like competing wise. That wasn't my goal. Yes, I'm gonna step on stage, but I'm too old to make a living from that. Anyway, if I had another opportunity, or let's just say this, if Josephine gave me an ultimatum, which she would never do, it's not her style, she's not selfish like that, but if she did and said, okay, I'll come back under one condition: you quit bodybuilding forever. We never get to work out again. No more PED cycles, no more any of it. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Yeah, it would suck giving up the thing that I love most in this world other than my wife. It would suck giving that up. But I would do it in a heartbeat, without question, because she is my one and only. She is my soulmate. She is my everything. She's not just my wife. Damn that word. I don't even care about that word. She is my sec. That's her name that I gave her. And I am Azu. And she is my sec. She is my honey bunches of oats. She is my everything, man. My baby girl. And I would give up the world for her. I would also conquer the world for her. I'd give it up in a heartbeat, man. All of it. Take all my muscle. I don't give a fuck. I'll be a skinny bitch. As long as I'm a skinny bitch with you, baby girl. As long as I'm a skinny bitch with you. It is what it is, man. I fucked up and put her on the back burner. I was so distant. I became so distant that she didn't feel wanted emotionally or sexually. She didn't feel like I gave a fuck about her at all. And she felt like there was nothing she could do to please me anymore. And I felt like that too. That there was nothing she could do to please me. I did. And she knew that. But that's for later on down the road. So yeah, I'll end it there. Thanks for listening.